Page 42, Lightning Ranger. Got a new symbol to learn here. They're throwing symbols at you. The thing about music is these symbols, you got to know these from now on. But you're going to be using them regularly, so hopefully that's not a problem for you. But we're getting to the end of the book. So if you've got here and you're struggling or you're forgetting things, please go back and do the book again. Go do the videos again. Take your time with this. Don't be in a hurry. If it's the first time through the book and you don't have a teacher, I would very much encourage you to go through the book again, even though you think you may have it. Because there will be things that you missed, and there will be things that you've forgotten. And you want to make sure you're ready before you go on. Things are only going to get more challenging. So the symbol for you, they show it at the top. It's an 8VA, and it may or may not have a dashed line. The 8VA is what we're after. And sometimes it's just an 8. Sometimes it's an 8VB. It's the 8 we're after. 8 stands for octave. And on a piano, it's letter to letter. C to C, it's an octave. D to D, E to E, G to G, B to B, those are octaves because they are 8 notes apart. C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're 8 notes apart. It's an octave. Oct meaning 8. Well, the symbol 8VA, when it's above the staff, means simply play that note that's in the music an octave higher than written. So look at the last measure of this piece. It's middle C here. They're telling you to play that an octave higher. So instead of this C, you're going to go up and play this C. So you say, well, so why don't they just put it in the music an octave higher? Well, they can here, but there's a lot of music where that doesn't work very well. So just accept it right now. Just pretend there's some reason they can't put it higher. They're giving you that C and you take it up. So here at the end, your hand is down here. So all you do is simply stretch out and to get the last note, because you have a C right in front of it here, and then for the whole note you stretch out and get it here, and then you can collapse your hand again. This happens a lot in piano. You need to develop a feel for the octave in a hand. If your hands are big enough, your hands are real little, you have a problem, but otherwise you want to develop where you can feel that octave without looking at it. You know it's an octave just by what it takes time. It'll come. It will, but just be aware of it. At the end of the piece here, you're going to reach up. You have, in effect, changed hand positions. This is another way we do it. But we want to connect the two C's. There's no silence between them, here and here. So there. E flats all over the place, right? Because here. Got eighth notes all over the place. In the left hand, you got flats and B flats and A flats or whatever they want to throw at you. You just have to be ready. At the beginning, they want third finger on the B flat. And if you look at the next measure, it's an A, but they want the thumb on it. There's other fingerings we could use. I'm not going to bother with it. We're going to use their fingering for now because it's good practice. The idea is you have a third finger here and you're going to stick the thumb under it to get the next note. Here. Don't do any contortions or anything with your wrist or your arm or none of that nonsense. Just reach the thumb under. If you're relaxed, your thumb should go one note, I hope. If you've been doing the scales, you do this anyway because it's in the scales. And you put thumb on that, and then in the next measure, the first measure, second line, third finger on the A flat. Not second, because if your thumb's here, you think I'll come to the second. Third finger, scrunch up a little bit, and then fourth finger, and then thumb on the B, natural. Next measure, that's the last measure, the second line, third finger on the B flat again, then thumb on the A again, stick the thumb under, and then second finger this time on the A flat, and then reach down to the low C here for the little finger, because you want to connect them. So this is moving around quite a bit. So you just work out that left hand by itself. Forget the rhythm, just get the notes. You hear in the fingering. Here, 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 and here, and here, and here. Work that out till you can get it. If you have to work with the keyboard to do it, fine, that's all right. Look at the keyboard to do it. Eventually it'd be nice, maybe the second time you go through the book, when you get here, you can do it without looking at the keyboard. That's the left hand. And all the time the left hand is doing this, the right hand is up here on the same two notes. The right hand, fortunately, is not moving around until the last measure. So you're just playing the C and the E flat. Remember the rules for accidentals. Again, it applies from that point on in the measure for the rest of the measure for that staff. So at the beginning, the E flat applies to the rest of the measure. So all of those other E's are E flats. They're all E flats. In fact, in this whole piece, I think it's E flats all the way through. That's the way it is. Eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and you get the idea. So work out the notes and the rhythms, and then when you're ready, come back and play it with me. We'll play it together and check the notes and the rhythms. Now, there's one little thing about technique I'd like to show you here. In the right hand, when you're playing the C flat over and over and over, I'm rotating. I'm not using the fingers I'm not keeping the wrist still and using the fingers. I don't recommend that in piano playing. Just don't, if you can help it. Here I'm rotating. It's here, and I'm just transferring the weight from the thumb to the middle finger, and I do use weight on this. I may not collapse the wrist every time, but I'm using weight to push the notes down. And I'm just rotating. Like that. I'm exaggerating it for the camera because the move is actually a little one. You're not moving very much. You can hardly tell it, but I am rotating that, and that's what I would encourage you to do. It will come in handy in a lot of pieces if you can learn to do that. You may not be these notes, doesn't matter. It's the idea that you're rotating. So let's try it. 4/4 time will give us 4 counts, and the hands go, the right hand's here, and the left hand starts on this note, and the left hand just keeps moving around. So 1, 2, ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One, 2, 3, 4.